Well, and I think I'm looking forward to this as much as Tom's looking forward to that salad. So I'm ready. I'm ready for a bit of nuke as well. And I think Order starting off on the T side. Expect for them to really take up the ante, take this to their opposition. Paradox. I mean, let's just see how they settle into this.
Yeah, well, and it's going to be auto starting on the T side because obviously they're map pick and ooh, Luke, aka Ekel, Ekel, I think that's how I pronounce his name, will get
Echo.
Ekel. Gets triple peaked. I like what he. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. He was trying to be cheeky. They're trying to step out, side of the smoke from the T's. But Order more than ready for it. It's going to be hit coming in towards the lower bombs. And in danger, well, he is going to be in quite a bit of a pickle. He's got backup arriving there. 2 CDs dropping down towards ramp. So he has a pretty decent crossfire ready. And Order, they're not quite striking yet. They're going to be utilizing the utility first. They're just going to spot a player up, but Gyra ready and waiting. Finds a kill. And with that, smart call from Order. They're going to head up straight. And despite Bedonka taking on Gyra, the round should be Order's because the bomb's going to get planted. It's a 4v3, but the post plants should be good.
They've been absolutely hoodwinked in this round, and I think it's safe to say that that outside presence really did draw Paradox into the lower bomb site. And you can see now they're forced to take that retake. Ustillo just, again, they're all facing here from Order. And, well, I think it's safe to say that Bedonka Dizzle, as good as he is, might not be able to overcome 3 members of Order. They just need to play the timer from here on out. And you can see Ali doing the damage, but Ricker just finishes that off. And a very solid round from Order. Interesting for me will be what Paradox's response is. Are they just going to eco this one out? It looks like there is some investment coming through from Paradox, but yeah, that's how things kicked off. And the problem with stepping on a smoke like that is it's been thrown from quite some distance back. You're not going to catch anyone off guard stepping out of a smoke like that, unfortunately. Not a team like Order, but just from start to finish, you can see Order are very regimented in what their game plan is.
Yeah, you can clearly see it, and it's kind of a little reminiscent of how Chiefs are playing their nuke as well, where they were so very, not I wouldn't say trepidant, but more like very calm and composed way they're approaching things. And once they won that first game, they just became unhinged. I think would be the right word to use on Vertigo. But here we go. It is going to be the investment coming in from the side of Paradox. We do have a couple of Deeks, actually no, 4 Deeks, and Herbs with a CZ. I would have called him RBZ if not for you, Jim, so thank you for that.
They're just going off old aliases. But, but Donka Dizzle, Valiant's a free haircut. Not that he needed it, but they can just trade into that lower bomb site. They should be able to get the bomb plant here unless Danger can make the numbers a little bit thinner. Unless he cannot. As, well, I think it's probably best, given the investment here, for Paradox to perhaps look for some exits, but they are, by the looks of it, just attempting to push up, close the distance somewhat, and let those pistols do the work. I think Verse has been able to get away with an AK, so it'd be good for him to potentially save. And I think RBZ is just going to be that secondary bodyguard with the nunchucks at the ready.
I like the analogy, but at the same time, considering the bodyguards have been trying to take down renegades, are they really bodyguards? Like, you know.
They have their own plans.
Well, like you said, a couple of casualties, but Order shouldn't be too worried about that. I think they lost the AK, and I do believe they had an SMG. I could be mistaken. Anyway, they will win the round. And for Paradox, it should be an eco here. Maybe the pistol getting dropped towards Echo. And there we go. The Deagle will be dropped towards him. Herbs with the CZ, P250, and the AK-47 in the hands of Versa. They got a couple of players with Kevlar. I like to see them kind of like force matters here. You know, just try and maybe pincer towards the upper bomb site. And Alistair, interesting. He's gone for just a Deagle investment, saving money.
Certainly has, but expect him to be somewhat of a point man as that push coming through ramps. Here we go. The Galil just winding up again. Valiant's able to just quell any issues they were having in that region, but now we do see somewhat of a turtled up approach coming out from Order. Now they just need to regroup, make sure that there are no other flanks coming in from elsewhere on the map that push from ramps. I do think they also have some presence outside as well, just on the silo. So they're just waiting and essentially allowing Paradox to come straight into their waiting arms.
Yeah, I like how Valens are just using that Galil as bait. Just like, all right, there's a free gun here. You guys can go for it. That was I like that though from Paradox. They went aggressive. Danger gets the first kill, but Versa, he needed that trade. He needed to establish a man advantage. But good reply coming in from Valiant. Has picked up 3 for himself, and with Echo left alone in a 1v4, I don't really fancy his chances. I'm surprised Alistair hasn't gone back towards ramp to retrieve that Galil, because he didn't buy any weapon. But maybe they're okay letting a Galil go, Jim. Maybe they just want the AK-47s, the AWPs perhaps, and that's ooh, a slap.
Yeah, I think it was just essentially the cheese in the mousetrap, hoping that they could entice Echo to come about and see what he can get. But they are going to now buy into this Echo, picking up the AWP for Paradox. I'm not going to fall into the trap of calling an operator. I haven't touched any Valorant. I've remained pure throughout this time. So I'm very proud of that fact.
Just call the op. It sounds the same thing, right?
Yeah. I don't know why they're going and making their own jobs harder in that regard, but interesting that they've now shown a bit more presence towards ramps here. I think Danger is going to have somewhat of a fight on his hands. You can see Order just taking up position in radio room. So a nice pop flash here might actually expose Danger unless he finds an angle quickly.
He does have backup in the form of Echo if needs be, but Herb's going to be caught out. And I was going to say, I am actually very interested to see how many teams adopt the Galil, because it was a recent patch, has made it, in some instances, almost as good as an M4. I'm going to say partway between the FAMAS and the M4. So it can do a lot of damage. I'm just keen to see which teams actually adopt it and just try and hold on to it for as long as possible into the gun rounds. And it looks like Order are doing so. But here they are going to make their way onto this top site, straight into the vent, though. That bomb is still yet to make its way anywhere, though. So it is just a case of making the trades here. Valiant does make things more difficult and is a thorn in the side of Paradox as they do try and get that rotation happening. The bomb is still yet to make it anywhere, though. So this is all in vain here for Order as they do make their way down the vent, passing like ships in the night. And there will be a plant here in the lower bomb site. I have no idea how Steele managed to steal that bomb away. It's dropped there. He just runs on up, takes a couple of bullets, and somehow pulls it back. And now Alistair, he's low on health. He's going to come down to Mr. Steeler, who's already done quite a bit of work getting that bomb down. And now, AW in the hands of Echo. You have the health to work with Alistair. He's taking the dual spots, at least a couple of players out, but his position has been compromised. He needs to reposition himself. And that's a kill the Steeler needed to land. The bomb is planned for Alistair, but considering how low he is on health, I don't think it's going to work out in his favor here. It's going to be a nice round, all things considered, by Paradox. They're going to keep 3 alive. They're going to retreat the AWP as well, and a triple kill for Versa. And they're going to be happy with that one. You don't... Oh, that got really close. That got too close. I thought it was done, but Paradox, 1 more second there. Oh, that could have gone the way of Order, but Paradox, they hold on, and that was, all things considered, a pretty good hold. Although, I gotta say, it was a little chaotic towards the squeaky area.
Yeah, I think Order just lost way too many trying to get down that vent. They took control of the vent quite early on, but they just couldn't get the bomb into the lower bomb site. It was just sitting around in T-mid. So unfortunately, they had their plans somewhat delayed, and that allowed Paradox to get back into the round. And, well, you can see, though, there hasn't, as a result of those second round buys, been too much investment needed from Order to get themselves relatively... Well, it was a full buy in that instance, but you can see they're opting for a more mobile setup. Those 5 AKs, not necessarily putting either of their capable players on the AWP just yet. They found success with the rifles, so why not continue there? And they've placed Alistair in a great position. He's been able to just get some more information, as Echo there does take some damage, but it's forced that rotation into the lower bomb site, as Ali's just searching for a pick here, and he may be able to find one if he just bides his time somewhat.
Badonka. He's in a rough spot, so to speak. But Versa, that's a huge triple kill.
Wow.
Just holds down the left click and just shuts it down. 3 frags with the man, survives on 12 points of hell, but has done his job. That is just massive from him. No backup, all by his lonesome. And now Alistair. Can Ricky do something? He's going to find one. The trade does come in. Badonka, that position of his, finally gets taken up by Alistair, but the trade is quick from Herbs. And that was a brilliant hold from Versa. We didn't see it from his POV. Hopefully it should be coming up here on the replay. But my word, 3K, you can see 3 bodies just lying there right in front of him. And how could not a single player get a kill on him or a trade?
I mean, I can only hypothesize until I see that replay. You can see that they did have guns out. It wasn't a case of utility going into hut. And, well, he made his position and presence very known. And there's not a lot that Ustilo could do after taking the first 2 scalps. So you can see there at the end, it was just a trade-out match between the last remaining players. And Paradox find their way into this next map, or this next round, should I say, has... I love this AR drone, by the way, but... Donka Dizzle obviously impressing enough to get himself on the radar there. But, I mean, from Order's perspective, that's the first time we've seen them show a lot of presence towards the outside bomb site with only a single player, though. They only sent Alistair. They didn't send numbers. They didn't send particularly convincing numbers through the ghetto stairs, as I show my age there by calling them ghetto. But, I mean, from Paradox's perspective now, they just need to roll with the punches. They've got utility, and that's the most important part of CT side on a map like Nuke, is maintaining that bank of utility, because it's very, very key to stopping and limiting the options Order have in any given round.
That's exactly what we're going to do here. Going forward, but utility money a little sparse for Order. I clearly see with the buy they have 3 AK-47s, a Galil for Ricky, and Valiance with the Desert Eagle. But this time around, they're opting to send 4 men down towards Secret. They haven't made a single footstep yet, meaning the player right above them, I do believe that is Bedonka, hasn't heard anything out. And Herbs is going to be ready for this. Smoke and Bloom, they're going to be forcing their way down in his direction. He finds just the 1 kill. Gyro survives on 31 HP and is going to continue to push on ahead, trying to get the player out in danger. Just runs out in the open, not expecting this pace from Order. And it's going to be suddenly a 2v4 as Rick is going to find another kill, and this has just all gone wrong. Paradox.
Certainly has.
A round they should have won, Jim. I mean, they had everything going for them. Order just had, like, they had, sure, 3 AKs, but 1 player was just on a deagle. Heckle just gets destroyed by Gyra. 3K for him. That was just a raw display of power from Order.
It certainly was. It was just a death ball, essentially, is what they have taken to the outside area of this map. They recognize that Paradox didn't actually have eyes on the outside of the map, so they've just got their way into a very compromising position early on, and there's not a lot you can do. I actually expected Herbs to do a little bit more from his position, but he was simply overwhelmed. Wasn't expecting the numbers, and Danger thought he may be able to just stop them getting onto that bomb site, but he was just squashed.
Squashed were Paradox, and with that, the money has been a bit squashed as well. MP9, Deagle, couple of M4s, a scout for Heckle. And this position from Danger, I mean, sure, he can get one, but there's no one nearby to trade. And considering it's Order he's going to be playing against, you know, that position, he's going to get flashed. He's definitely going to get flashed, or at least made to feel very uncomfortable with a little bit of utility. Smoke's going to be used. He's playing anti-flash, waiting to strike. And Order, they're not biting yet. They're just taking a sweet time. They know that the money is not that great for Paradox. They know it's potentially a forced buy. Just trying to, like, kind of draw the utility, try to figure out what the setup is going to be. And after a little bit of a lull, looks like all 4 members are going to be heading out towards the outer bomb site. But Donka is waiting with the Deagle.
It's got some position as well, so they need to be sure that they don't allow him to do too much damage, as they're going to come around. He might be good for 1 here. He's showing a bit of trigger discipline. Not like this. I think he's let the moment go by. No, he's taken 1. Not to find the second, though, and this is what Order need to deal with. They've just chosen to ignore him, hoping he will go away. They will take position here on the bomb site, but they need to be careful. Herbs thought he'd struck gold, but was quickly dealt with there by Alistair, and now this is where Danger can play that gimmicky off angle, picks up 2, and now Ali, he's only got that AWP. We've seen him work magic, but not in the space of 10 seconds with no bombs, so this is going to be a case of him just trying to hold on to it for dear life. And I don't think Paradox are pushing just yet, but this is Danger once that timer goes down. It's just a high-stakes game of hide-and-go-seek.
It's a game of inches. It's a game of inches and milliseconds, and that particular round was a game of Order not checking a corner. Like, you have no one playing towards outer, there's no one spotting there. And even if you had players spotting outside, like, I mean, you have no information if the CDs are pushed on close. They assumed that the CDs wouldn't be aggressive, and especially in a round where you know that that weaponry or maybe the utility is not that great for the CDs, you should be aware of that. You should be wary of that, which they were towards lobby. But yeah, that was just a big mistake from Order, if you ask me, Jim, and well, getting fittingly punished for doing that.
Yeah, it was interesting that they just chose that to take position outside instead of turn around and fight and try and make that trade. They just opted to leave Alistair to his own devices and hope that he would be able to deal with the one remaining Paradox player outside. So now we do see a round where there isn't a huge amount of investment on the CT side. They don't have the money to make it seem as though they've got full utility, but Rikia there does manage to work the other side of the map. They're just going for that push-pull effect, showing presence outside, hoping Rick can just slip the net somewhat, push and get a peek at ramps. What they've allowed here is Paradox to actually take control of T lobby. So this could be danger, but I think Rick is actually very aware to that fact.
He is, but I do like what Paradox are doing here. You know, they do have Ricky just like trapped. It was a trophy room. They get the kill. Sure, you know, you've given up quite a bit of map control, but even if Order get the bomb down, 2v4, that's an opportunity you're going to take, as Rick is going to get taken down. And now, danger. Badonka's nearby. Glass breaking, getting broken. That's going to be a tell. They know where they're going to be coming in from. Badonka just pushing on in through the flames, leaving it all in the hands of Valiant. It's going to get nothing done. Badonka Medizzle with the ace. He gets the ace with that spanking fedora as well on top of his head.
There you go. It's certainly been tipped well into that round, as Paradox find themselves at fourth. Very important for them too, as that most importantly gets Order on the back foot in terms of the T economy. So they needed a plant in that round at the very least. They weren't able to get it, and that just means that they are going to go with some minimal investment. Just, I believe it's Ali there upgrading somewhat, but interesting now to see the approach that they will take, because they don't have the options of utility. They just have to take duels, hoping that maybe this death ball can work some results here at ramps. But I think Danger's actually, yeah, Danger's got some helping hand here. Badonka and their anti-flash, they've got this one worked out.
Danger waiting for the crouch peek angle, but it's going to be Alistair just walking on out. Danger, he wants to just drop on down, but then he realizes his teammate's there, and he wants to ensure that even if Badonka does get taken down, at least a trade does take place, as Alistair replies with just the one frag. But in all the chaos, the Steeler snuck his way in down vents. Now there is a man ready and waiting with the AK-47 towards Decon, and Steeler doesn't have the bomb though, so there's not much he can do. And the moment he opens the door or he breaks that window, the jig's going to be up.
His options are somewhat limited. He's just hoping to see if he can find a way to slip the net, as you do when you're potentially trapped there. Versa does take a lot of damage for his trouble. It's Alistair now. Again, options very, very limited in this instance. So you may be able to just land that single bullet there onto Versa, take that AK, go on to do some more damage. And now this could be trouble actually for Paradox, but they have to make all the mistakes because they have control of the bomb. So I think Ali's just been sent to do as much damage to that CT economy as possible now with the remaining 11 seconds. And he's not going to get anywhere. Danger covering that quite well as Paradox find their fifth. So this has been a real shift in momentum, Blair. We've seen Paradox really start to just tighten their grip a little bit on these key control points on the map. They've been quite keen actually to play off angles, get those trades, and it's working for them.
It is. And if you look at the Paradox players, 4 of the players combined total of 17 frags, and Badonka has 14. That's just been a hell of a start for him. While on the other side for Order, I don't think a single player's hit double digits yet. And I gotta say, this is already looking like a much more closely contested matchup compared to what we saw earlier between Mako and Badonka. I felt like it potentially got a collateral there, but at least the trade does take place. Maybe a little bit of over-eagerness, but at least he gets the kill. And that's a little bit of information gleaned as well, but still very early days. Order. I won't lie, I've been a little surprised with Order's T side so far. Sure, I mean, they seem to know what they're doing here, but haven't really seen much, right? They've apart from the smoke wall towards outside, just going for the contact plays. A death ball round we saw earlier with where they had those 3 rifles, kind of like a half buy sort of thing. Apart from that, I haven't really seen upper execute. I haven't really seen like a proper, a ramp take for that matter. It's been kind of just looks like they're just going for duels and hoping to out aim Paradox, which is a little surprising if you ask me.
I think it's just a case of Order wanting to go through some options before they have to actually dig into the strat book to see what they can get away with in the first instance. They do take control of ramp, so there is some progression there. We will see Alistair now spring into action, get down those vents, and he will be... Oh, I thought he was going to be followed there, but it was actually just the body of Ustillo. Didn't quite get through that smoke. There's now Paradox. They've got the number advantage. They still got control of upper site, but it's not going to be of any use to them, as we do see Danger there. He's actually taken down Valiance over the smoke. Presence of mind there to just make sure that Danger wasn't actually lurking in that bomb site, as he has on so many rounds.
Oh, Ricky is waiting so patiently towards upper. He finally finds Versa, and now Herbs and Echo. This is not really a winnable one. They do have the kits, they have a utility, but an AWP is going to really minimize their opportunities with time ticking away. There you have it, Order striking back. But again, I'm just still not convinced, right? They really like contesting vents and the squeaky area, dropping down and trying to make it work. But like you said, yeah, maybe they're just trying to like figure out what's working and what's not. And to be honest, like 5-5 is still, I'm going to say it's going to favor Order a little bit, considering it's their map pick, it's Nuke, it's a T site. And for Paradox, well, money is still looking a little iffy here, as we do have a little bit of a comparison. Bedonka versus Ricky, and Bedonka is looking pretty crazy with that. That's an impressive amount of damage.
Yeah, those are some impressive stats, given obviously the caliber of his opposition as well. So, I mean, the scores at the moment looked at 5 apiece, and we will see full investment coming out from both these two teams. Yeah, interesting though. I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen any accompanying flashes with those squeaky hits. Nothing coming through the vents or the top of the glass or anything to just ensure that they get through unscathed. There hasn't been anything like that from Order just yet, but we do see Ricky taken out of action quite early, as Order are just trying to work the picks. They're not trying to do anything fancy just yet. We might see a few more of those smokes and different arrays of strategy come out as we find... I guess they find the limit of what they're able to get away with.
Oh, I feel like Jara got saved by that flash from the CTs. But Versa is going to find Alistair. Still no trades it. They're going to be going for the contact play, and it's going to be Bedonka, but still is going to drop him. It's an upper hit. There's one player playing towards Hut. He's just holding the line. It's going to be Versa. He's got a lot of angles to clear. He's ensured that at least Hut for now is in his control. Steel's going to be sneaking his way up towards Heavens. He's always lonesome though, so he's got a lot of work to do. There's no teammate nearby to flash his way up towards Heavens. It's going to be Echo. It's going to find Jyra. And now 2v4. Echo's position compromised. Bounce is going to be waiting for him, and he reads it perfectly. Echo getting a little too over-aggressive. In Danger, he knows Danger's nearby.
Certainly does, but that frag actually allows them into the round somewhat. Ustillo's just looking for something. Danger. Alert to the fact that Ustillo was there. The footstep made earlier certainly gave away his position, so the smoke was dropped immediately. But it's all on the shoulders of Valiance. We've seen him pull off some fairly heroic clutches before. I don't know if this is going to be anything in the order of that. He does have some time. That Molotov does go down, and he almost has to immediately stick to plant. Danger is all over it. And that is another round for Paradox. So they are looking to gain a lot of momentum out of this. It's very dangerous when the underdog starts to gain some confidence and momentum.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you look at Order, like you said, it's just working the picks, looking to win these individual duels. But to be honest, Paradox, they're winning the deals as well. Bedonk especially has been an absolute monster. Versa has been a beast. He's been an absolute beast in that hut area, that upper bomb site. And of course, you have Herbs, Echo. Echo's been comparatively a little quiet, especially with AWP. But apart from that, everyone has really been looking pretty solid for Paradox. And I won't lie, I'm slightly impressed right now. It's still early days, and like you said, Jim, I mean, sure, Order might not be looking to like reveal all their whatever they have in their hands, but I mean, it doesn't have to be something very elaborate, which they might have planned for someone like Renegades or maybe Avant in some other event. But I'd like to see, like, you know, a standard upper take, you know, with a few flashbangs, a couple of Molotovs for the hut area, for the bomb site. a couple of smokes for Mini, just some basic stuff, and maybe that could just kind of break Paradox.
Exactly. It doesn't need to be the kickflip twist into the 900. You're going to go for Tony Hawk references. But, I mean, in terms of what we've got for Paradox, is they're not really having to deal with any flashes somewhat. Yeah, the standard anti-flash positions are working for them. And we do see Danger just starting to cop some damage. But, I mean, Order really aren't finding too much success with their early expeditions looking for a pick. And I think that's what's probably frustrating them somewhat, is the fact that Paradox are doing a good job of consolidating these bomb sites and not allowing these duels to occur. And, oh, Danger, as he's completely unaware of the fact that Ustillo was there. See the 4x3 or left-handed models that have let him down there. As Valiance now is going to flood into that lower bomb site. But Donkadizzle hasn't been cleared out of window as he remains strong. Alistair, they're now starting to pick at the rotations from Paradox. And this is where things get really dangerous, is because you don't know where you can safely rotate.
Yeah, this has just gone wrong, hasn't it? But still, an opportunity. Oops. He's got the rifle. There's a player in the smoke, Ricky. And I don't think Eccle's going to be expecting this. And he's going to be expecting the player inside of the door. The Molotov is going to be a problem. He's going to tap it. But he gets the kill. Finds Alistair. But now Ricky running around the smoke. And he's going to not get the kill. Oh, the no-scope through the edge of the silo. Does he have the time? Of course he does. He's got a kid as well. That is a huge round from Echo. It felt like Order had just stolen it away. That would have been a disaster of a round, considering the money was looking pretty grim for a majority of players as well. I want to see that final shot from the POV of Echo, because that was just filth.
That looked nasty. That's the kind that would leave a scar. And I think the fact that they've implemented the the conditions of the kill into the kill feed, as Ustillo there, he does take one, but you could see this was looking really dangerous in terms of being an Order win, until the heroics of this man Echo. It was I think that one was being notched up in our books in Order's favor, as we do see now. Again, they're just going to try and get themselves out. Event persistence, I think, is their approach at the moment.
They're running out of rounds, though. They just have like 3 more rounds remaining in this half. And yeah, I did touch upon, I did mention how Echo has had a very quiet game, but this time it's going to work out. It's going to work out, Jim. Just going to walk on out towards the upper bomb site, and they're going to find 2 kills. 1 kill towards outer, now Versa. He has been an absolute rock. But I love what Rick has done here. He's got the kill. He's fallen back. He's going to ensure there's no trade taking place immediately. And now, for Paradox, they need to kind of push the extremities of the map to try and find some map control, some information as to what Order might be up to. And Danger's pushed up, as Alice is going to find Versa. That's the upper bomb site compromises. No one else there. Bedonka towards lower, and Order going to realize it. And this is going to be round number 6 for Order. Again, it's almost like you mentioned, you're just going for the deals. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But they're not really attempting anything even halfway elaborate. It's just going for the duels, and sometimes it works out.
This is sandbagging at its finest from Order, in the sense that they are just making Paradox play. They're not doing anything particularly special. They're just working the extremities of the map, and it's usually Rick, the one that they're just I guess he's their Splinter Cell. He's the one that he's just been tasked with getting in under the guise of distraction and just trying to do some damage. And it's having some results. Wouldn't say it's been super successful, because they still are dropping rounds to Paradox, but it's nothing more than that. Showing presence in one area of the map, hoping to cause enough of a rotation distraction, become the thorn in the side, and just work that pick. Now, Jyra is surprisingly a young IGL, but has garnered a lot of experience in the last 12 months. So his first venture into, I guess, more of a serious Counter-Strike role was through Avant. Now, they qualified for the major qualifiers and were sent to Poland to boot camp. So he's gained a lot out of that. And since then, he's gone from strength to strength. Obviously, he's moved on into a team like Order, and having some veterans around you, particularly those that are experienced like Rick and, of course, Ustillo. And Alistair's no slouch either. He's been around for forever in my eyes. But that is going to motivate you as a player to put in the hours. And he's been one of those few players that have come through and dedicated themselves to being an IGL, a career IGL. You don't see that too often. It's usually just gifted to players who have been, perhaps the more experienced. And I think he's got a tough task ahead of him, given how strong Renegades have been at home. But we see Versa here he might be able to catch one or two out here. But I think the fact that they're turtled up means that there should be a swift trade. But there's always that danger.
There's that danger. And the danger... Ooh. This is nerve-wracking as Eccle's going to find Jara. That's a time for Versa to strike, but it's going to be Steeler who's going to take him down, unfortunately. And Bedonka and Danger, only two players with the weaponry to work off. And I feel like Danger has been just wielding an MP9 the entirety of this half. I don't even think I've seen him with a rifle at all.
He's the money man. He's the Zanil.
He's a Zanil.
Okay. Dedicated himself to the FAMAS only for the benefit of his team. Maybe he's taking that money man approach, but RBZ here can't get anything done with that CZ. And Order will just force their way into this lower bomb site. Bedonka, he does have M4 in his hands, and actually does slip the number over 2 of Order, and this has given some life to this retake.
This is very doable. They have a kit as well. Oh, but they have to first pass on through Valiant, and it's going to shut it down. Makes it look so easy as well. And that is going to be the scores tied up. Now, you look at the scoreline, you're like, you know what? Paradox haven't really done a bad job, and I won't lie, they haven't really done a bad job, considering if you go back to the death segment where all of us were like, yeah, this should be a 2 over Order. It has been pretty even, but again, we're just gonna keep on touching upon the fact that Order haven't really tried anything special. The thing is, when you switch over to the CT side, is that when they're gonna just shut things down and just close it out, without allowing Paradox to even get maybe more than 2 or 3 rounds? But it remains to be seen, obviously. And Echo not expecting a player to be crossing on over that quickly. That was so scary. That was so scary. And I feel like he got saved mainly because his teammate kind of sacrificed his life for him, but then he manages to kind of make up for it. 2 quick kills, as Danger's gonna walk up towards Ram and gets a kill on the Gyra. This guy just loves his MP9 and is going to get another kill, and somehow Alice is going to be left alone in a 1v4. No saving here, because it is the final round of this first half.
That is daylight robbery. That is daylight robbery. He's just dropped the smoke, pushed straight through it, masked his footsteps somewhat. Now Ali,
well,
he can only go down, and Paradox, you can see that they did actually start to string some rounds together on that CT side, and that's very difficult to do against a team like Order. And the fact that they were able to keep their economy in check also gave themselves the best fighting chance. They didn't do anything silly. They didn't force into rounds they didn't have to. So whilst it is 8-7 to Paradox, Order, as we said, they really didn't show a lot on that T side. So we're just seeing this last round here. Eccles, he does actually find that second frag as well. And this is... It's nothing. There's nothing more frustrating than finding frags or coming into frags like that, losing players to an MP9 in the last round of the half as you're trying to resettle yourselves into the new half. I mean, Order are a very experienced lineup. I don't think that's going to dwell longer than it has to. But from Paradox, they can take confidence from this first half. They can take a lot of confidence. The question is, can they convert that confidence into a pistol round?
Well, remains to be seen here, but I gotta say, like, for Paradox, at least with Bedonka and Versa especially, I mean, he doesn't have the 18 kills that Bedonka has, but he's been really instrumental in just shutting down the upper bomb site. As we do have Mr. Droney McDroneface coming in. We've been trying to find a good nickname for the drone, but we haven't really found a good one.
It's to help us drone on about players in the
God
interim.
damn it, dude. God damn it. Oh, all right, we got Valiant. He is the op trainee. He's got the majority of his kills from the AK-47. I just want to point out, though, for Order, they seem to have had a kind of a cold start individually as well. Sure, you've had some moments of brilliance. We saw Alistair, Ustillo, even, Ricky with a couple of good kills, but they were losing duels. Like that, I think the final round is a very good example, right? Like the way Danger got 2 kills, not getting traded at all. Like this seemed to be maybe a little overconfident, maybe not. What is Bedonka doing? What is he doing?
He's just showing that Bedonka towards ramps. It's not going to be of any use whatsoever. There is
Style
presence. Style points. But that is it. As Order take a convincing pistol round.
Replay, please.
Or...
I I get
I
it.
mean,
I get it. He was trying to do like a a reverse bunny hop anti-flash sort of play, but I don't know. I don't think that was the round to do it in. Maybe in a matchmaking game, Jim.
perhaps, and I don't, if you're trying to upset the aim of some of these players on the order, I don't think you're going to have a great day. But I mean, I do rate the attempt. It was something a little bit different. But the problem is now that they've got themselves off on the wrong foot here, as we do see fast presence towards outside order. I mean, this is a fairly standard kit out from them. We do like to see them buy in with the SMGs trying to farm some money, particularly on a map like Nuke. You can really just hold down choke points probably a little bit better than you can on some other maps, particularly on the CT side. Here is Ali, just trying to play as deep as possible. If he does go down with that M4, at least it's potentially going to be in a retrievable position. So Paradox hoping to just catch out members here and there. Versa was collateral in that instance, wasn't he? As they're trying to work that pick for Eccles, he can't find anything with that Deagle just yet. And I don't know, this one's just petering out for me. They're trying to posture to do some damage to the CT side, but they're being picked apart themselves.
Yeah, the only investment being the Deagle from what I can see here, so I'm not too worried for Paradox. It should be, like you mentioned, a farm round as Distillo.
There we go.
Ooh, just the one kill though, so a little bit of a reply from Herbs. Maybe looking for more with the Deagle, but this should be Alistair. It got a little scary, but there we go. A couple of kills for Estillo, a couple of kills for Alistair, and of course Valens to close it out. So a little bit extra money in the bank for Estillo. So despite getting taken down, he will have that money to go for a rifle buy if needs be. And instead, did he get dropped for Master? Looked like it did. But there we go. M4's coming out. M4 for Mass and Jara are going to be sticking around with the MP9. And now, the buy from Paradox. The AK-47. They have shown that they had something on the CD side. But now is the real test. Rifles versus the rifles. And if you look at the guns, Paradox actually have the better weaponry. At least for this round.
Certainly do. Rick just tries to get a little bit slippery. And this is...
Okay.
Oh, that's one play to make with that MP9. He's traded out. So he does go the 1-for-1, and that's done damage to Danger's economy. But problem is now it does thin the numbers somewhat for the CT side. Oh, Badonka, he did spot out the push, but his drop means that he is put to rest by Ali. And I don't know, you don't often get a second shot at Ali. If you miss it, that's it.
That's just so unfortunate.
Be spurred into that top side. He's still out playing on top of Hut. If you're from the old school, you would have called that the blizzard spot on top of Hut. Certainly did like that spot, but order solid hold from them in the end. You can just see Jara just pushing for that info, trying to upset the balance somewhat. He did a good job. Got that first kill. That's going to frustrate Danger somewhat. More importantly now, frustrate him because he's got to think about it whilst on a light buy coming through with just the pistols and some armor for Paradox.
Is that Blizzard from Mouse Sports?
Mouse Sports, yeah, the original.
Yeah, there we go. That's a name I haven't heard in quite a while. God, we're old.
If you wanted confirmation, this is it. That is a great grenade, though.
Oh,
crunching bones.
1 HP.
Down to 1.
Experience from Ricket. Gets the first kill, doesn't stick around, gives no opportunities for them to maybe get a frag. And Alistair, he's hungry, he gets 3, and it's Badonka Dizzle with his Fedora left in a 1v5, and they take not a single point of damage. Flawless round coming out for Order. And for Alistair, just a little bit of padding the stats a little bit. As this seems a little bit more like the Order we were expecting on the T side. They seem much more convincing, much more assertive in the way they're taking the map control, like we saw earlier with the MP9 just pushed up in the hands of Jira towards outer yard. So, can he continue to do the same is the question here. They have an AUG out, no AWP out yet for any of the players for Order, and for the side of Paradox. Echo. He had his moments. He was kind of quiet, I won't lie, with the AWP, but he had his moments towards the latter half of that the first 15 rounds. So let's see what he can do here. Can he get the opening kill? And that is a pretty good angle for him to win against Jira, who has the AUG.
Interesting that they've put Jira outside with that AUG. But I mean, Eccles is just going to be taken out like that. Ali just peeking up those stairs. He's completely unbeknownst to the fact that he has just lost his head. Now, Ali's just going to try and see if he can get anything more than that, but he is harassed, pushed away, as Order are doing now. You're right. It's a much more comfortable performance from Order. They don't have to do anything. They just have to sit in the bomb sites and let Paradox effectively come to them. But they're just doing these little pushes, trying to upset the balance somewhat. A team like Paradox, it's tough for them to establish control on a map like this when you've got your opposition pushing and it's working. So they're just going to continue doing that, trying to upset the balance somewhat. Never allow Paradox to feel confident in these rounds. On the flip side of that, Paradox have got to be the ones to make Order respect them somewhat. Here's a push into the upper bomb site. You still are completely blinded by that flash. They're going to trade their way in, but not good enough. That AUG stands strong. Ali just pushing through the smoke there to take the final player from Paradox, and we do see a convincing round from Order. Yes, things came to an action point in that top bomb site, but aside from Ustilo going down, Gyro is actually very, very solid in the way that they worked that. So you can see Order are very comfortable holding the sites once they've made those initial information pushes.
Yeah, I love that smoke as well being tossed in by Valiants. Just playing around it, Alsa coming up from behind, so the trades are always going to be good for Order. And more importantly, Badonka's gone for the Hero AK-47. Fair enough. The rest of them, some Deagles and Kevlar, kind of a light purchase, not a full investment coming out from the side of Paradox. But what's worrying here for me for Paradox is the fact that Order, through the players, the money's looking good. Alistair's on 13,000. Look at the aggression from Alistair. He's gonna make his escape. He's still looking for the duel. He still wants that kill. The Malda's gonna keep the player at bay. That's versus burning alive. 5 HP. Somehow he's pulled off a Houdini. He's gonna make his escape. In the meantime, Ricket is gonna face some action. Tapping away, not expecting so many players nearby, and he's gonna get completely bamboozled. Doesn't get a single kill, gets taken down, and AK-47 picked up.
Yeah, Slick Rick couldn't make that AK stick. And, well, he's still alive. They still have relatively healthy position here, Order. So it's not danger signs just yet. I was amazed that Ali had the confidence to take that duel, particularly given that he had good weaponry as well. Not necessarily supported either, but here we see they are just being picked apart. And it is just aim map now in this top side. The Donkadizzle, I think they were waiting for him to make a move, but that is such a cheeky spot from Jara.
It's getting dicked on, unfortunate. But, well, you know what? It wasn't a full investment. It's okay. Paradox still have money to work with here, but like I said, the worrying factor for Order is the money spiraling out of control. Alistair was 16,000, Valiant's on almost 9k. Still a Ricky on average about 4k. This is after the buy, of course, so things are looking grim. And I just have a bad feeling, especially if you're a Paradox fan, that Order just might run away with this, despite being a very close first half.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them if they don't start winning rounds, because that T economy, yeah, they're going to continue to be able to buy into rounds if they keep getting plants as well. But, I mean, in terms of the CT economy, it's going to be a long time before they break it.
Why is it Dak out in this position?
This is classic Rick play. Why respect your opponent unless they make you respect them? This is something that, you know, Old Immunity were good at with Ustilo, with Rick. They made teams respect them. They just kept running the same things over and over again, or doing the gimmicky things because they could get away with it. And unless the team was coping with it, they didn't stop.
Sometimes you just have to make them respect you, and it's gonna be Paradox is gonna force them to respect them. But it's still out, holding the line. He is a lobster and he is a monster. He gets 3 kills, and suddenly the tables have turned, and Herbs is going to be left alone in a 1v1 as Danger burns Jara alive from beyond the grave. The problem here is the man alive. The man alive is Alistair. He's on 100 HP, and Herbs, I think he's aware of his position, but 19 HP. If he crosses over towards events, he's done for now. So waiting patiently, and he's going to get spotted out, but doesn't matter. Herbs, he spots him out earlier, but Alistair doesn't care. He just rips his head clean off his shoulders, picks up the Dak, and is going to tossing it over towards his teammate. 14-8 for Order.
That is a very clinical 1v1 from Ali. Just the patience. He didn't need to move. He didn't need to move and go anywhere. It was Herbs that had to do all the clearing of the rounds, but you can see Ustilo. He's just comfortable holding topside there. They're not really dealing with him immediately, and you need to do that against players of this caliber from Order. They are just going to go on to get multiple frags in rounds. So this is a tough first map here from Paradox. They're not out of it yet, but all signs point towards Order taking this one comfortably. We see Paradox actually. Rick giving away his position through that smoke. He does some damage for it, but he is swiftly dealt with. So the numbers actually are back to 4 apiece as Paradox, they're being made to work for these rounds.
Oh no, Danger knew exactly where Alistair was, and he's like, oh, wait, he hasn't spotted me. It's a perfect opportunity for me to sneak into Mini, but then Alistair just peeks around the corner, boom. Is there nothing this guy can't do? He can opt, he can rifle, he can clutch. He is just so very good. And yeah, they lost Rick earlier, who's been having a rough time towards that ramp area, but the rest of his teammates have just been unstoppable by the looks of things.
Look, I'm having a hard time. I've always had a hard time distinguishing what is smoother, his hair or his gameplay, Ali. I've always had that
He's got beautiful
question
hair.
to be pondered. Exactly. Lovely long locks, and certainly does like to lock down the bomb sites here. Jara, we traded out. It's more important information than anything else. Is oh, Ali again pops his head up, and they know exactly where Bedonka is. So this is going to be tough for him here. The Tech 9 is going to be asked to do work, but unfortunately, it is unable to be effective at that range. Or to bring up match point. Now, this is the order we were expecting. They've been far more comfortable on that CT side. They just had to get their way through T side with enough rounds and not showing too much of their hand.
Well, when we saw them get 7 rounds in the T side, I was like, is it going to be enough? And now we look at it, it feels like 7 rounds was overkill. This has just been a complete, utter shutdown. And Paradox, sure, they showed signs of life on the CD side. We had some great rounds coming out from Bedonka and especially from Bursa. But now it's a Hail Mary play. MP7 just runs on out. It's going to be Valiant's blinded. He doesn't care. He's going to get the kill. Quick kills coming in and mostly going the way of Order. However, Danger does reply back and he knows Asilo is hiding in the smoke. And Danger, he doesn't know exactly where he is. He's like a wraith in the smoke. Asilo walks out straight from the smoke. And with that, he finishes it off. Okay. Woo. All right.
Executioner style at the end of that round. He went from lobster to